What's up, guys? This is Alejandro from Playing with Fire, and I wanted to make a part 2 to my first video where I showed you exactly how to text girls that you meet in real life, which is something that I mentioned a lot of guys struggle with. So when I made the first video, I had a lot of people saying, dude, this is fucking awesome, like, can you give us another example? Show us, give us another example. That one seemed like too easy or whatever. Maybe it was like whatever, I just got lucky that night or whatever. And of course there is a little bit of an element of luck, but there's also skill and, the things that I mentioned in the first video, things you don't want to, fuck up on. So for example, you don't want to make things complex. You don't want to, try to get to know her over text, or something guys do. You don't want to either fail to close or try to close abruptly, where you go from talking about fucking puppies to saying, hey, how about tomorrow at 8 o'clock we have wine on my patio, So anyway, so I want to walk you guys through another example. A girl I met actually at Whole Foods this time. The full backstory is that basically I was wandering around Whole Foods and I see a really cute girl. She's, she looks Latina-ish, but not really, like kind of exotic looking, with just like a rocking body. Exactly my type. And to be honest, like full disclosure, like the first time I was kind of in my head and I walked past her and didn't say anything. Then I saw her a second time, and the second time I also just walked past her and didn't say anything. I'm only human, we all have our good days and bad days, and I was just like a little bit stuck in my head that day. And then I saw her a third time, and I'm like, alright, like, can't be like a little fucking pussy. So I walk up to her and I open with something like, wow, this is the third time we ran into each other, it must be fate. And there, like with the first girl, I could tell there was like some instant attraction. She had like her pupils got dilated, like tell she was attracted. I flirted with her for maybe like a minute or two, basic stuff, like, oh, what ethnicity are you? You look exotic. Like, she's like, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow, it's a sexy combination. She's like, what are you? I'm like, I'm Russian. Again, like nothing crazy, just like flirting. The key thing is that good eye contact, good body language, and the sub-communications. That's where it really is at. About a minute and a half or 2 minutes into the conversation, her mom actually walked over, and I didn't know that she was with her mom because I didn't see another person in the picture. So the mom walks over, and of course this is normal, mom sees her daughter talking to a guy. She wants to make sure that the daughter's not uncomfortable, daughter's safe. This will happen, if you open girls who are with their parents. And the best strategy, when the mom comes over, is to just charm the fuck out of the mom, which is exactly what I did. So the mom walks over, and I use my standard mom opener, which is like, this must be the older sister I heard so much about. As soon as I said that, the mom just lit up. Her face was just like, just like instant approval. The mom said something in Spanish to the girl. The girl said something, which probably she was just checking up to make sure I was okay. And then the mom looked at me and smiled, and I said, nice to meet you, sister. And then she like walked away. She was happy. So I got the mom approval. Then I talked to this girl for maybe another minute. Really, the whole conversation was 3-4, maximum 5 minutes, including the mom seduction. I got her number, made loose plans. Said, hey, listen, we should get together soon. She's like, yeah, absolutely. Gave her a hug. And that's when I knew that it was a really solid number, because she held the hug like for like an extended period of time. So she was just like I was the first one to let go. And when that happens, the girl's attracted. Like, it means that she doesn't want the moment to end. And versus the opposite of that is when you give a girl a hug and she's like trying to like get out of the hug, which means she wants the interaction to end. Most of the time, it will be somewhere in the middle. But when you get that girl like almost just doesn't want the hug to end, like your grandparents who just like hang on to you because they're not going to see you for a while, that's a great sign. So that happening kind of made me go a little bit more aggressive in the text messages, because I knew I had that attraction compliance. If I didn't have that hug, I might have not pushed as hard for the for the same night meetup. But anyway, let's crack into the screenshots. So I sent her my standard Alex, so it's just like a dash and then just my name, and she replies, "Hi Alex," smiley face, and then a few minutes later she double texts me, "I'm sorry for coming off so shy. I'll get over it once I warm up to you." So that's always an amazing sign, is when you get the double text. I reply, "It won't take long to warm you up." So what she's saying is that, oh, I'm so shy, you know, like basically what she's communicating is that, like, and that's the vibe I got from her also, that she's like a DTF girl who's just shy, you know, she's not used to this. Like, she's like, probably, she's not the girl that clubs, and I found this out later when I got to know her better. She's not the kind of girl that goes to clubs, she's the kind of girl that hangs out at a library or a Starbucks. And that's one of the great things about Day Game, as a side note, is that you meet those girls that you just wouldn't meet, you know, like at night. You know, they're like the non-club girls, like the girls who are just a little bit more nerdy or more, you know, reserved, and they might just be exactly as DTF as the club girls. You're just not into that scene. So I say it won't take long to warm you up. What I'm saying is that, hey, I understand that you're shy. I'm totally cool with it, and I know how to handle shy girls, right? Which is basically what I want to communicate, is that the fact that you're shy is absolutely not a big deal to me. You know, what you don't want to say is something like, uh-oh, shy girl, like, basically anything that communicates that you don't have experience with shy girls. She says, "How are you so sure?" Question mark, and then smiley face. So I take that as an excuse to escalate a little bit more and move things forward. Again, I mentioned this in the first video, is you want to be moving things forward. And it's kind of like, you'll get these opportunities, like almost like a game of chess, which is another analogy I keep making, is you'll get these opportunities, like where a girl will say something, which is just like a perfect excuse for you to kind of move things forward. So I respond with, "You'll see when we meet," winky face. So again, not going for like the meetup exactly, but just hinting at it, kind of just moving the ball a little bit forward. And she responds really positively, which is, "When would that be?" Question mark, smiley face. So amazing response, means that she wants to meet. What you don't want to do here is take a step back and, you know, keep bantering or any of that shit. Girls jumping into logistics, that's exactly where you want to be. So I respond with, "Well, I'll be free after 11 if that's not past your bedtime," right? So I try to go for the same night meet because, you know, I can just tell that she's into me. I have that compliance, and, you know, I probably wasn't doing shit that night, so I was like, let's see if I can get the same night meet. She says, "Tonight?" Question mark, right? So I respond with, "Mm-hmm." So basically, she gives me a simple question, I give her a simple answer. What you don't want to do here is make things overly complicated and be like, "Yes, you know, if that's cool with you, or we can do blah, 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 blah." Simple question, simple answer. She said, "I think I'll still be out and about by then. What about next weekend?" Question mark, smiley face. And again, the little thing, she's sending me a smiley face with every text. Another great sign. Means that she wants me to think that everything she says is basically like with love. Like, she's worried that, like, when a girl is not sending any when a girl's sending a lot of smiley faces, it means that, I mean, part of it could just be her, like her style, but oftentimes it means that the girl wants you to, like, respond positively to everything she says. She doesn't want anything you say to be, like, taken out of context by her. It's like when the guy does that, it's like a guy supplicating to the girl because he's worried. It's the same exact thing with a girl. She's worried that, you know, I might take something the wrong way and, like, lose attraction. So that's just like another great sign. So I go with, "I'll be up late, so later works. Next weekend I'm not so sure about." So what I'm doing there is I'm saying, hey, listen, I can chill later tonight, you know, I'm not going to sleep early. And then I kind of leave next weekend open-ended. So I don't want to be like, because again, I'm trying to get the same night meet here. So I don't want to be like, or next weekend, right? Because then she'll just go with next weekend. I'm saying that I'm not sure about next weekend, which allows me later on, if tonight doesn't work out, to actually do next weekend. So I'm kind of giving myself an out without actually agreeing to next weekend. She responds, "I'll try to make it," right? Good sign. You know, she's saying that she's going to try to, you know, well, you get the fucking picture. I say, "I'm excited to hang out with you." The reason I do that is because I want her to know that in some situations, you don't want to be like, seem like you're overly interested, and that's where most guys are at. But in this situation, just based on the fact that she double texted me initially and she's sending me smiley faces, I want her to know that I am interested. Like, there's sometimes where playing too cool can work against you, where the girl's like, I don't know if I should even bother. This guy's like, doesn't even seem like he's interested, right? You want to show some interest, like, because otherwise they can backfire. So that's the reason I go with that. She says, "Me too!" exclamation point. So good sign. So I wait until actually 1 a.m. and then I hit her, because I was hoping that she would just text me around 11, 12 and be like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. But I hit her around 1 a.m. to see, you know, what's going on. I say, update, question mark. Her response is, I'm going home now. I doubt they'll let me go anywhere else right now, sad face. And something to keep in mind is that, you know, I could tell she was very young, like 18, 19, still lives with her parents. So, you know, that response makes sense. You know, like a 18, 19-year-old girl probably, you know, would have some rules, especially if it's like a strict household, about going out at 1 a.m. So I say, breaking my heart, and then I inserted her name. So that's kind of like, I'm still sort of slightly pushing for it. I'm just communicating that, like, I really want to see you, and, you know, like, I'm sad, but I'm doing it in like a tongue-in-cheek type of way where I'm not butthurt. She responds, I'm sorry, exclamation point. There are other days we can see each other, smiley face. So at this point, pushing any more for that night is going to be a bad idea. And I already kind of pushed for that night more than I usually do. And the reason I did that again is, you know, because she showed so much interest, you know, in the store, because of the double text, the smiley faces, and frankly, just because I wanted to bang that girl that night. So I pushed for it a little bit more than I usually do, but at this point I realized that pushing any more is just going to backfire. And you have to be able to, again, with, you know, with text game, be able to realize when logistically it's just not going to go down, and then just reschedule. I've seen too many guys who, like, just get dead set on getting the same night meetup, which you should try to get, but then, like, when it seems like it's logistically impossible, to keep pushing for it and pushing for it, and eventually the girl realizes that the guy's annoying and she kind of loses interest. Because if you think about it, why would a high value guy really need some random girl that he met to come over that night? You know, that's kind of like more like a low value needy guy behavior. So at this point, I take a little bit of a risky move because I want her to actually show some more investment, because basically what I've been doing for the past, you know, 5 texts is kind of pushing for that night. So at this point, I'm taking a step back. So I just say, okay, with a smiley face. And it works because she responds, just let me know when you're available and I'll gladly put time aside, smiley face, right? So at this point, she's invested. She's like, I'm down to hang out, not tonight, but any other night. So again, I respond with, I might be free tomorrow evening or Monday after work. So what I'm doing is I'm giving her 2 days that, you know, we can hang out. That's kind of what you want to do. You want to give a girl a little bit of an option. You want to be like, you free Tuesday or Thursday evening or something like that, where you give her 2 choices. You know, if you go for one choice, you kind of, if she's just not available that night, you know, she has to say no. You get into negative compliance, then you have to throw out another day. So it's always easier to give the girl a little bit of an option. And she says, I'll see you then, smiley face. Perfect. So date is set up. So next day, I hit her with my famous Ryan Gosling meme, which is basically, hey girl, happy Sunday. And you can see this. I'm going to post a link. I posted all the screenshots in the forums.playingfire.com. So when you go there, you'll be able to see exactly what meme it is. But if you're someone who's been watching my shit for a while, you know exactly what kind of memes I use. She says, good morning, with like a picture of the sun or whatever, like emoji sun. I didn't even know they had these emojis. I say, hey, still good for tonight. So confirming for that night. What I like to do is, my strategy is, for example, when I make plans, you know, like the day before, that next day, I try to send her, I don't try to confirm right away, I try to send her something like hola chica or like a meme where I get a response and then I go to confirm. So I just find that works better than, I'm sure with this one, if I said, hey, still good for tonight, she would have still confirmed it exactly the same way. But I've just found that getting a response and then confirming just works better overall. She says for sure, perfect. Now at this point, we didn't get into where we're gonna hang out. A key thing to keep in mind though is that she was down to hang out late last night. She just couldn't logistically. So if a girl is down to meet up late at night, like 1 a.m. where shit is closed, it's a pretty good sign. It means she might be open to coming over. Also, there's the extended hug that I just keep harping on. So I go for the, smoothly go for her coming straight over, which is always my first choice. I say, cool, swing by around 8, right? So bam, just assuming that she's gonna come straight over. Again, this is a big thing you want to always be doing. Assume positive things. Assume that the girl's already attracted. Assume that you have enough comfort, right? So just always be assuming positive things. She says, sounds like a plan, smiley face. Perfect. That's exactly the text I want. And then at 6:40, she actually double confirms on me, which is another great sign. Means there's really not going to be any flaking. She says, hey Alex, how are you? Question mark. Just want to know if we're still meeting up. Solid. I say yes, smiley face. Address is blah, 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 blah. She says, awesome, exclamation point. See you at 8. I say, sounds good. Perfect. 8:10 rolls around and I haven't heard from her. So, I always, when we have plans, say I make plans with a girl at 9 o'clock, I'm not going to even message her until it's past that, I'm not going to hit her up at like 8:30 and be like, yo, where are you? I'm going to just assume, I'm assuming she's going to come over, and, if time goes on and it hasn't happened, then I, calibrate and see where she's at. So I just text her lost, question mark, and she responds with, I'm downstairs. Okay, which one is it? So at the time I was living in a building that was kind of confusing, so totally understandable. I say 8:12, give her my apartment number, and I actually wound up going downstairs, meeting her, which I always try to do because it makes the girl a little more comfortable. When they, it's just a little less awkward than showing up straight at a guy's apartment who you only talked to for 3 minutes at Whole Foods. So, so we meet up. It goes really well, have an amazing time together. I actually wound up hanging out with this girl quite a few times, but unfortunately she had to move, so our relationship ended in a sense. But yeah, so afterwards, after the night, around midnight, I text her. That was, and then like the flame sign, that was like hot. I always do that with girls who I want to see again because I want to show that I had a good time, and I want them to confirm that they had a good time also. And I always send it that night because that's when emotions are at the highest. You guys just banged. The girl's like, feeling a lot of shit. You don't want to wait for these texts. And she says, absolutely. And then next day, she actually texts me, opening me. So, that's a great sign for, attention, booty call, whatever, that type of thing. Possibly wife, I don't know. But anyway, so what are the lessons here? And they're kind of similar to a lot of the lessons that in the first video, right? Moving things forward in a very smooth way. So in all the screenshots, nothing I say comes abrupt. It just all seems to flow really well. So I'm always moving things forward, but I'm doing it in like a very smooth, calibrated way where nothing is like a big spike. It's all just like this. Second thing is, again, this is something I mentioned in the first video, I'm assuming positive things. I'm assuming attraction, I'm assuming comfort, and I'm assuming the girl will be cool to come straight over, right? I'm not making it seem like I'm unsure. I'm not like, hey, would you be cool with coming to my place? I'm just assuming that she's cool with it. I don't try to get to know her over text, even though honestly we only talked to each other for like 3-4 minutes at Whole Foods. We don't really know shit about each other, but I'm assuming that she's already comfortable with me. I'm assuming that she's already attracted. Now I need to generate attraction, right? So just assuming positive things. And the third thing is just keeping things as simple as possible. There's no fanciness, there's no unnecessary complexity, there's no just weird shit that I sometimes see guys do. Just keeping things very simple as they need to be. Only adding complexity if it's necessary. And the one other thing that why I like this example is because I pushed for the first night, but it didn't happen. So you can see exactly how I try to get the same night meet, and then at what point do I realize that's not going to happen, and then how do I calibrate afterwards, right, to get the meetup the next day or the following day or whatever. So you kind of get a clear idea of that. And also another reason I wanted to show this one is because it's such a like I met her at Whole Foods grocery store, something that anyone can do when you go grocery shopping. The interaction literally lasted 3-4 minutes, and it just shows you what's possible, you know, if you assume positive things. Now again, it's not going to go like this every time, you know. This girl was attracted to me, she was in the right headspace, you know, it went well, you know. Obviously not every girl I approach or every number I get goes like this, but again, always assuming positive things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to the YouTube channel because we're going to post some awesome content. Hit the like button, and also write me a comment letting me know what exactly you want to see in the next video. What kind of text breakdown do you want to see? What I've been thinking about doing is cracking into Tinder, doing Tinder breakdowns where the game is a little bit different. But if you guys want to see more day game, you know, breakdowns, then let me know in the comments, and part 3 will be on your desktop shortly. Till next time, guys, thank you for watching.